Tonight, is this how you pictured it?
Today's the first day of spring. Okay, this does not look like the first day of spring.
Spring has arrived in the capital, and with it, several centimeters of snow, putting plans for golf and patios on hold. Remember this era?
Still a markup on there. That difference I could definitely spend somewhere else.
With eye-popping prices on the resale market and an incredibly popular global event arriving in Canada, the Ontario government moves to protect consumers from being price gouged, aiming to cap ticket prices at face value. And equipping all frontline officers with body cameras by 2027.
It's about public trust and accountability. You know, people can see that, there's an objective record.
A plan with lots of support, but can Ottawa Police afford to make it happen? Good evening. All winter long, we tell ourselves just wait until spring. Well, here it is. What do you think? The first day of spring arrived in Ottawa with another 6 centimeters of snow. With the wind, it felt like -11 this afternoon. And there is more winter weather on the way. CTV's Josh Morano joins us in studio with more on this. Josh, I'm sure people were happy out there today.
Not really the case, Patricia. Some residents I spoke with didn't even know it was the first day of spring, and I don't blame them. Some tell me winter fatigue has hit them hard, and while they're wishing for some spring weather, they aren't getting their hopes up. The first day of spring is here.
Is it really?
But for Monica Young, it doesn't feel or look like it. Bundled up with her daughters at the log farm, trudging through a fresh blanket of snow.
It was like 15 degrees and sunny. We all went to the park, and then the next day it was like freezing rain, and here we are.
Another dump of snow in the capital on Friday, leaving many wondering when or if the snow will ever leave.
Today's the first day of spring. Okay, this does not look like the first day of spring.
It's absolute horrible weather. Terrible. I wish I was in Bahamas right now.
It's been a long run, stretching back to early November when the first snowfall of the season took over an Atletico Ottawa match, turning the pitch into a winter scene.
Things started turning cold in November, and they've been cold in November, December, January, February, and my gosh, even March. 5 months in a row with colder than normal. Even for Ottawa residents, that's tough to take.
And on the first day of spring last year, it was a much different scene. No snow, with a high of 16 degrees. Residents hoping that weather arrives soon.
We want to start running outside again, walking, being healthy again. Winter, man, that depression comes with it.
It's a bit disheartening sometimes, but I know spring is just around the corner.
And according to Environment Canada's website, Ottawa has received 254 centimeters of snow since November 9th. And while spring is officially here, Phillips says winter conditions could stick around until at least April. Patricia.
I sat outside through that Atletico game. That seems like a long time ago. Josh, thank you for this. CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight as we take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. -3 degrees out there, and a lot of white in that picture as we want to check our weather forecast going forward. No blame being assigned here, Jackie, but come on. we want some spring weather.
I mean, tomorrow is going to be the warmest day we've seen all week. We are getting up to about 6 degrees, but we got to get through tonight into tomorrow. The good news is that the snow has tapered off, even the precipitation. So mainly cloudy skies for most of our evening. -3 in Ottawa is the current temperature, around 0 in Kingston. Gatineau sitting around -2. Montreal also around -2. This is the temperatures as we get into our Saturday. -9 is what we're going to start off with, but we are warming up to about 5-6 degrees, and we are going to see some sunshine tomorrow. That's the good news. The not so great news, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, by the time we get to Saturday evening into the overnight, we could see more snow on the way. We'll have these details for you and much more in just a bit. Patricia.
Well, the Ontario government wants to put a lid on soaring resale ticket prices for concerts and sporting events. The plan to cap the price at face value is a lesson learned from the Taylor Swift frenzy, combined with concern about what's coming for the World Cup. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is live with more on this. Natalie.
Well, Patricia, we all know someone who has paid way over market value for concert tickets or for a sporting event, and especially with those big ticket events like you mentioned, Taylor Swift and the Blue Jays World Series back in the fall. But now the Premier says he wants to put a stop to it.
When I see those ticket prices, I definitely get terrified.
Manaski Sharma can't wait to see Bruno Mars in Toronto. She bought tickets on the resale market. Not as expensive as Taylor Swift, but still more expensive than she'd like.
I was checking, original price tickets were hovering around about $150. We paid close to $300 per ticket. So I mean, it's not terrible.
After demand and prices for Taylor Swift tickets last year went through the roof, the Ford government wants to outlaw the resale of tickets for more than their original value. That would apply to individuals and resale giants.
So it's not a profit-making measure anymore. If things happen, you can't go to the concert, you can't go to the game last minute, you can throw it up on the reseller site, but you will recoup your costs. This will not be something you can gouge somebody on the secondary market for any longer.
But there are already some critics who say a law like this will drive resales to an illegal market.
Amazing idea if you live in a fantasy world. Absolutely horrible idea and unapproachable in the real world. All it's going to do is make people very, very angry. It's going to turn the scalping system underground and on social media where you really won't have that much protection there.
Last fall, the Blue Jays World Series tickets, the cheapest, standing room only, sold for close to $2,000 apiece. And the FIFA World Cup games in Toronto are around the corner. 7 years ago, the Ford government reversed the ticket resale plan drawn by the Liberal government, saying at the time it was unenforceable.
And now 8 years later, Doug Ford's coming in and saying, I'm the White Knight. I'm saving all of you, right? So, pardon me if I don't do a cartwheel.
Sharma is hoping this goes through. It's money she can spend on other parts of the experience.
That difference I could definitely spend somewhere else, like, in hotel or renting a car.
And this could be implemented by May. And meanwhile, organizations like Live Nation Entertainment say it supports the move, saying in a statement to CTV News Ottawa, we are in favor of measures that promote fair, transparent ticketing and curb exploitative resale practices. Patricia.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead after decades in business, Malin Framing is taking itself out of the picture, citing changing customer habits for the decision to exit the frame. That story coming up. Ottawa Police are looking to expand the use of body-worn cameras following a pilot project launched last year, and the service is pointing to real-life cases in which the technology is already making a difference. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live now with more. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, the Ottawa Police Service is among the last major jurisdictions in Canada to implement body-worn cameras, largely due to cost. Right now, about 30 officers are already equipped through a pilot project, and the plan is to expand that across the force.
An elderly woman found alone in the cold. She's asking for help, but police can't understand her until...
Automatic detection enabled. I came from Beijing, China, and I don't know anything here. I'm confused. I'm over 80 years old and alone.
The moment captured on an officer's body-worn camera equipped with real-time translation. And police say it's changing how they respond in situations like this.
In the past, that situation would take a lot longer to resolve. And then after the fact, the officer was able to generate a report using the AI tools in a fraction of the time.
It's part of a pilot project launched last year following recommendations from a public inquest into the death of Abdi Rahman Abdi in 2016. Police say the cameras save time, improve accountability, and can cut down on time spent in court.
Your best evidence is always video evidence, and I think that that's going to eliminate a lot of these cases that drag out through the court system.
The union has been calling for body-worn cameras for years and is urging other levels of government to help cover the cost of expanding the program. The service wants to add 850 more cameras to equip all frontline officers by 2027 at a cost of $30 million.
The officers love it. Really, they're actually saying, when can we get one? They want this. They know it's going to protect themselves. They're going to protect the community.
The plan still needs approval from the Police Services Board, but on this call...
I'm going to bring you to your retirement home, okay?
好的，女婿，我会带您去养老院，好吗？
The cameras made all the difference.
And another 200 officers are expected to be equipped with body-worn cameras later this year. The full plan will be voted on by early next year. Patricia?
That was a pretty incredible example of how useful they can be. Caitlin, thank you. CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. We have extended coverage of the plan to expand body-worn cameras in the police service. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, soft soil conditions are adding another $10 million to the price tag of the new Ottawa Police Station in Barrhaven. The facility is being built on Prince of Wales Drive near Strandherd. Last May, police announced the opening would be delayed until 2027 due to issues related to the soil at the site, which were not discovered until construction. Police say the issues have since been resolved. The total expected cost is now more than $187 million. There was a spike in bus cancellations in the city last week because hundreds of replacement buses were needed when LRT Line 1 went down. According to OC Transpo, there were nearly 2,000 undelivered trips between March 8th and 14th. That is the most in terms of cancellations since early February when there was a snowstorm. Nearly 500 of the canceled trips were a result of R1 bus service. Replacement buses were running from Wednesday to Saturday last week after multiple overhead wires snapped on the LRT during that freezing rainstorm. OC Transpo has previously said it does not expect bus service cancellations to significantly improve until the spring. Well, to the latest on the war in Iran now, U.S. President Donald Trump is lashing out at NATO again, calling allies cowards for not participating in American efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, the Iranian regime is threatening to widen the conflict. CTV's Judy Trin has the latest.
American warplanes and attack helicopters are striking more Iranian targets in efforts to reopen the Hormuz Strait. The United States is also sending 3 more warships and 2,500 more Marines to the Persian Gulf.
No force on earth can beat the American sailors or the American military.
But for the first time in this war, a U.S. F-35 stealth fighter, nearly invisible to radar, was struck over Iran and forced to do an emergency landing. Donald Trump continues to complain that allies are not sending military support to the Strait. On Truth Social, Trump said NATO without the U.S. would be a paper tiger. He called them cowards, unwilling to help despite so little risk. We will remember, the president warned. Allies were not consulted before the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran. 3 weeks after the war started, 7 allies, including Canada, are expressing readiness to contribute appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait.
Celle-ci est strictement défensive.
French President Emmanuel Macron said the help would be strictly defensive to support regional allies and preserve freedom of navigation. Macron did not provide more details about how that will be done. At the White House, Trump seemed to imply that talks to de-escalate would be difficult.
And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore. We're having a hard time. We want to talk to them, and there's nobody to talk to. We have nobody to talk to, and you know what? We like it that way.
Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has not been seen publicly and has only issued written statements. Donald Trump says he believes Khamenei is badly injured. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Iran's military has issued a warning that sites around the globe won't be safe for its enemies. The comments renewing concerns of militant attacks far beyond the region, including here in Canada. CTV's Stefan Keys is in studio with more. Steph.
Patricia, it's a stark warning from Iran's top military spokesperson who says parks, recreational areas, and tourist destinations right around the globe will not be safe for Iran's enemies. The comments come nearly 3 weeks into the war that has killed several of Iran's top leaders and hundreds of civilians. Although the U.S. and Israel have struck many of Iran's military sites, the country has shown it is still capable of attacks. One security expert says a big concern is the upcoming FIFA World Cup, with the games happening in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
We have to obviously be concerned because we know that the IRGC has capabilities globally. They work with organized criminal groups to do targeted killings through transnational repression. I know already that counterterrorism agencies and those that are working on security for the World Cup have had to factor in the Iran dynamic now. And also Iran is qualified to play for that World Cup. So what does that mean?
CSIS tells CTV News the terrorism threat level from Iran hasn't changed and remains at the medium level, which does mean a violent extremist attack remains a realistic possibility. In a statement to CTV News, Canada's tourism ministry says they are concerned about any threats that could impact travelers, tourism workers, or destinations, adding they're monitoring official Government of Canada advice closely and encouraging others to do the same. Patricia.
CTV's Stefan Keys reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the war in Iran. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel. American action legend and martial artist Chuck Norris has died.
Lisa, would you go behind my pickup truck and pull down the tailgate for me, please?
Chuck Norris.
The iconic tough guy, best known for his role in the long-running television series Walker, Texas Ranger, was a household name in the American martial arts scene. His family says he died suddenly yesterday, but they're keeping the circumstances private. He was recently hospitalized in Hawaii. Norris turned 86 years old last week.
The industry is not growing. People are buying things ready-made, they're buying things online, and the custom framing industry is shrinking.
Coming up, the final frame for this Ottawa business. Malin Framing set to shut down after more than 40 years. That story just ahead. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. We'll be getting a break from the snowy, wintry weather for the first day of spring. Mainly cloudy skies for the evening, -6 with the overnight. And tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit of sunshine. Daytime high 5 degrees. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where things are warming up a bit. -3 is the current temperature, showcasing Parliament Hill in downtown Ottawa.
Every year, an average of 500 children and youth are in cancer treatment at CHEO. Join CTV and Move 100 as we support oncology patients and their families at CHEO by participating in the CN Cycle for CHEO on Sunday, May 3rd. The routes start and finish at the Canadian War Museum with a 15, 35, 70K CN Century Ride, 2 and 5K walk. Get active with a group of friends, family, or a team of colleagues. For more information, visit cncycle.ca.
Ottawa's favorite cash contest is back, and it's big. Move 100's $50,000 Beat the Bank. 7 vaults. You decide how much to take home. Sound the alarm? You lose it all. Be listening weekdays for your chance to win.
We're celebrating spring at the Ottawa Home and Garden Show. We're back here at the EY Centre, and right now we're with Bill from Sunspace. You guys have been in the industry for a very long time.
We have. We've been manufacturing sunrooms now for 35 years for our dealer base across Canada. We have 4 manufacturing facilities here in Ontario.
Perfect. So if you have any questions or you want to come see Bill at Sunspace, make sure you visit the Ottawa Home and Garden Show, happening now at the EY Centre on until Sunday.
Today's snow report brought to you by Calabogie Peaks. Play outside at Calabogie Peaks, the big mountain close to home.
And here is today's snow report. Some nice fresh snow on the hills for you going into the weekend at Calabogie Peaks. All 3 lifts are operating and 21 runs are available. Taking a look elsewhere in the region, all 4 lifts at Port Lodge and 14 runs, 5 of 7 lifts at Camp Fortune. 17 runs are open at Edelweiss, 2 lifts, and almost all of their runs, 21, are available to skiers and snowboarders at Mont Cascade. 4 of 6 lifts and 15 runs.
With a fabulous fleet and boots for your feet, Calabogie is the place to meet. The big mountain close to home.
Well, this long-running business that was a portrait of success in the capital for nearly 50 years is closing. The owner of Malin Framing says he's getting ready to say goodbye to his shop and spend more time with family. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
But when you compare it to the square frame, big difference.
After almost 5 decades, Gaston Malenfant is ready to close his doors.
That's something that we have always, that's been part of our thinking, is whatever we touch will go to the next generation. Much of what we do is not done for temporary, it's done for long term. We started out...
Malenfant started his business as a lamp shop in 1978. Local artists featured their work there. A year after, the framing shop opened for good. 5 decades later, the framing industry is much smaller.
We had started doing custom framing, And then our whole industry started growing with custom framing. People are buying things ready-made, they're buying things online.
All those years in business means he also built up a loyal customer base.
Gaston's been here for over 45 years, and I've been in the neighborhood for pretty darn all of that time. And I think almost every painting in my house has been framed by this gentleman.
And loyal employees, too, like Rafman Nazarali, who has been working there for 36 years, creating and hanging custom frames throughout Ontario.
I've been in the university places, all the universities. I've been in the Deputy Prime Minister office, the Lord Elgin Hotel. I've been to the Indian Embassy, Saudi Embassy, on Parliament Hill, 24 Sussex. And hang some pictures for one of the ministers.
The specialty at Malin store, framing and laminating of family photos, wedding photos, paintings, and collectibles. Prices ranging from $150 to a couple thousands of dollars. Now, after 48 years, Gaston Malenfant says it's time.
Very, very sad. And very, very sad in large part because it's very fun to work here. And everybody who comes in here has something they like, and something they leave with liking more.
Malin Framing closes March 30th. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Great shop. Well, it is a snowy start to the weekend in the capital. Snowy start to spring as well. Here is that snow covering the trail at the log farm in Nepean today. But there is some sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow, so that is good. But as we know, spring arrived officially at 10:46 this morning. And as we saw in Josh's story, most people did not realize it had shown up.
No, I mean, can we say that we're going to see signs of spring for this weekend? Maybe a little bit of tomorrow, but then it quickly changes by the time we get to Sunday.
No daffodils yet.
No daffodils yet. Current temperature right now, -3. We did see a daytime high about 0, and this is what we are looking at, mainly cloudy skies for this evening. Going into Saturday morning, we may get little spots of that sunshine moving through, but it is by Saturday evening, 7 p.m., that's when we're going to start to see a weather system coming in from the North Bay area, moving in to the Eastern Ontario region. And by 11 p.m., we're going to start to see that steadily move through well into the overnight. So we could see between 5 to 7 centimeters of snow by the time you wake up Sunday morning. So don't put those shovels away just yet. -6 for tonight's overnight lows, -5 in Kingston. Brockville sitting around -6. In the valley, also sitting around -7. As we look towards tomorrow's daytime highs, really for much of Eastern Ontario, hovering between 3-4 degrees. But with that sunshine, it could feel a touch warmer as well. Now across Canada, similar stories here. Fredericton sitting around 2 degrees. Halifax as well. Windsor had quite the warm up today, 19 degrees. For our friends south of us in southern Ontario. Winnipeg, 4 degrees. Calgary also getting a warm up as well at 14 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud. And Vancouver, 14 degrees. They didn't get much snow this season, if pretty much none at all. As we look towards Saturday into Sunday, we are likely going to see this clear by noon Sunday, and that will keep us more with flurries lingering as we extend into the early start of next week. Now, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Saturday, 4 degrees again, that daytime high, and early forecast showing for Sunday, the snow 5 to 7 centimeters, 2 degrees the daytime high. And while it will move quickly, the chance of flurries is going to be lingering for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and temperatures still hovering around the freezing mark. I don't know if you want to look too closely at Thursday, Patricia, because the periods of snow could return as well. Again, maybe 5 to 7 centimeters, but I don't think we're in spring just yet.
No, I was going to say in no time at all we'll be complaining about the humidity, which is probably true, but then you see the snow in there for Thursday, -12 overnight at the end of the week. It'll be a little bit.
I'm going to wait until after Easter for spring. Fingers crossed.
We also practice in other primary care settings, such as family health teams, community health centers, Indigenous-led clinics.
Well, just ahead, Ontario will miss a deadline to start funding all nurse practitioners in the province, meaning patients will have to continue paying for those services. We have a new pop quiz online tonight. Test your knowledge of the week's news. Take the quiz at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Tonight, Donald Trump takes aim at NATO as the U.S. ramps up naval forces.
No force on earth can beat the American sailors or the American military.
What Iran's chilling warning means for tourist hotspots. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Well, the snow has stopped for the most part. There was some drifting snow a little while ago, but visibility pretty good on the roads right now after snow most of the afternoon. You may have some trouble on some side streets, so do be aware of greasy conditions. Well, some Ontario patients will have to continue paying out of pocket for appointments with nurse practitioners for longer than expected because the province will miss a federal deadline for setting up funding for the services. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has the details.
So this is 3 months follow-up, correct?
Yes. Emily Park is just wrapping up her 2-year training as a nurse practitioner after working for some years as a registered nurse. But where she will work next will determine how she's paid. Those like Marak Fazal, who work in one of the province's 27 nurse practitioner-led clinics, or NPLCs, are paid salaries with public dollars.
We also practice in other primary care settings, such as family health teams, community health centers, Indigenous-led clinics. Nurse practitioners are in long-term care and correctional centers and hospitals doing primary and specialty care.
But Michelle Acorn of the Nurse Practitioners Association of Ontario says a significant number of the 6,000 nurse practitioners in the province are unemployed or underemployed.
Nurse practitioners have stepped up and improved access to care for patients. Some, unfortunately, are not publicly funded and are in the private sector right now. Patients are paying out of pocket right now for some publicly funded services because there is no way to remunerate or pay the nurse practitioner because we do not have easily accessible, flexible funding models similar to our physician colleagues.
The federally set deadline to do that is April 1st, but the Nurse Practitioners Association fears it won't be met. Today, the Ministry of Health said the Ministry of Health is actively reviewing and engaged in ongoing discussions with provincial and territorial partners and the federal government regarding implementation expectations of the federal government's direction.
The ministry should be applauded for the infusion of over $2 billion for primary health care through the Primary Care Action Team. And the mandate is to attach Ontarians, 100% of Ontarians, to a nurse practitioner or a physician and leverage their full teams.
Acorn adds that nurse practitioners are a group that's actually growing by 11% each year, so they could play a vital role in ensuring that every Ontarian has a primary care provider. But she says fair, stable funding is key. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
And tonight's big picture, NASA began moving its Artemis II rocket towards the launch pad at Cape Canaveral earlier today. The movement to the launch pad is expected to take up to 12 hours. The target launch date is still April 1st. The mission will be a major milestone. It will mark NASA's first crewed lunar orbit mission in over half a century. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has slapped 5 grocery stores across the country with fines for mislabeling products as Canadian. The list includes 2 Loblaw-owned stores in Ontario. The 5 stores were issued a total of $47,000 in fines. In a statement, Loblaw says it takes its labeling responsibilities seriously, and while it works hard to keep everything current, there are times when signage may not be updated as quickly as inventory is replenished. Riders may be able to drink alcohol on a pedal pub in Ottawa this summer. Last July, the Ontario government changed the law to allow alcohol to be sold and consumed on pedal pubs, but municipalities had to pass a bylaw. City staff are now recommending councillors do this. There is only one pedal pub in Ottawa called the Thirsty Peddler. There would still be rules in place on where and when it can operate on city streets.
Rings it around for Spitz. Jordan Spitz. Long reach shot. Bounces back in front on the line. Kachuk scores.
Oh, this was a good finish and much needed an exciting game for fans at the CTC last night. Just 11 seconds left on the clock when Captain Brady Kachuk scored to give the Sens the win over the New York Islanders 3-2, which means Ottawa's playoff hopes stay alive as they Get ready to take on the Leafs in a Battle of Ontario game tomorrow on home ice. Puck drop will be 7 p.m. And there are some tickets out there selling for less than $100. Yes, for a Sens Leafs game.
Play it back. 67's getting fancy again. Here's Vandenberg all the way across. They score!
And the 67s are back on the ice tonight after Wednesday's 6-1 win against the Oshawa Generals at TD Place. The two teams are facing off again this evening, this time in Oshawa. The Barber Poles are back at home tomorrow for their final regular season game. They're hosting the Kingston Frontenacs. Puck drop is 3 p.m. And their playoff schedule is set. They will be playing Kingston in the first round. It starts at TD Place next Friday.
13 and 18% of doctor appointment requests are redirected to another health professional.
Just ahead, Quebec gets set to roll out a new AI tool for family doctors in the province.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal. Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, heads up to drivers in Ottawa and Eastern Ontario. You may see military vehicles on several highways in the region this weekend and next. Canadian Army Reserve members will be traveling to Garrison Petawawa for military training exercises, and they will be driving along Highway 17, the 416, and 417. Well, starting next month, booking an appointment with a family doctor in Quebec will be a little different. Patients will have to answer some questions using an artificial intelligence tool as Santé Quebec rolls out a new program to help triage patients, but doctors are already noticing glitches in the system. CTV's Matt Gilmore reports.
Tu veux un rendez-vous pour notre EKG pour quelle raison?
At the Kildare Family Medicine Group in Côte Saint-Luc, it's the first day of working with the new AI-powered triage system, Navig.
Infected toe.
When patients call to book an appointment, receptionists are now required to consult the software.
Do you have fever? We're going to say no.
It generates a series of follow-up questions to ask the patient and then recommends a course of action.
So a doctor within 24 hours.
The company behind the software says the idea is to help filter out patients who can be helped elsewhere in the network, freeing up space for doctors to see other patients.
Between 13 and 18% of doctor appointment requests are redirected to another health professional.
But for Dr. Michael Kalin, director of Kildare, the promise of more efficiency has so far fallen short.
What we have here is an AI that, in my opinion, is neither artificial nor intelligent.
He says calls now take longer, and he often doesn't agree with the software's recommendations.
A patient called with a headache. Through the course of questioning, the filter said, "You better go to the emergency room." I read the transcript. This patient doesn't need to go to the emergency room.
Patients can still refuse the software's recommendation, and Bertrand Bolduc says doctors can customize the program to make sure it's giving recommendations that make sense for their clinics. But Bolduc says the healthcare network has grown so large, it's impossible for anyone to know all the resources available. He uses the example of a patient seeking help for anxiety following a death in the family. The software fishes for information to help guide them to the right person.
Have you already contacted the grief support resource? Let's say I didn't. Well, there's a helpline. Call that. If it doesn't work, if it's not enough, call us back.
Dr. Kalin says he believes the software can be helpful in some circumstances, but does not agree with making it mandatory so soon. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Canadian retail sales were up over 1% in January. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
Sales totaled $70.7 billion in January, with increases in 6 of 9 subsectors. Vehicles and parts led sales in January, up by 2% month over month. Sales of building materials were also up, and more jewelry, luggage, and leather were sold. Those items get lumped together. Sales were up across all provinces, with Alberta making the biggest gain. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.92. West Texas Intermediate ended the day at 98.23. Western Canadian Select is up over $1 to 80.31. And the TSX lost another 537 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
In Vancouver, it was a very warm winter. Our mean temperature was 6 degrees. The normal mean temperature is about 4.3.
Well, just ahead, Vancouver marks the first day of spring after a winter unlike any other in more than 40 years.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
Far side pass, and it's an early shot. He scores!
The Ottawa Home and Garden Show is back at the EY Centre, and we are with Ken from Aberdeen Development Group. Spring is a time to think about the outdoors.
And it's time to start to think about that outdoor oasis, your pool, your backyard, be able to use it year-round. And we're offering gazebos and pergolas to enjoy that even more during the rainy season.
Oh, yeah, I feel warmer already. So come see Ken and Aberdeen Development Group here at the Ottawa Home and Garden Show. You know what? I'll let you have this one. Oh, look at you.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
A spring weekend ahead. Time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
It is maple season right now, which means lots of spots to dabble in Canada's favorite sweet treat and everything that comes with it, including at the Log Farm on Cedarview Road, Fulton Sugarbush in Pakenham, and Stanley Sugarbush in Edwards. Enjoy pancake breakfasts, tractor rides, petting zoos, and lots more with the family this weekend. Next on my list is the Ottawa Home and Garden Show, presented by RE/MAX. It runs all weekend long at the EY Centre. It's your one-stop spot for everything on your spring to-do list. Great chance to get help or advice or even inspiration for any home renovation or gardening projects you may have. Last up today is 613 Flea. This is Saturday from 10 to 4 at the Aberdeen Pavilion at Lansdowne. And as usual, features over 150 vendors with one-of-a-kind items. The best thing about this one is that the vendors rotate, so there is always something new to check out. Well-behaved dogs are welcome to browse with you, and admission is free. As usual, lots more happening around the capital this weekend. The full list and all the details at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, we've received a ton of snow in Ottawa this winter, perhaps more than many of us would like. It is a much different situation in Vancouver. For the first time in more than 40 years, that city received absolutely no snow the entire season. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson.
It's been raining this week in Vancouver, a lot. And on this first day of spring, fresh blossoms are already foreshadowing more beauty to come. Sounds like a normal West Coast winter, but this year, something was missing.
We did not receive measurable snowfall at the Vancouver airport this winter.
Vancouver doesn't get a lot of it, but every winter for decades, there's been at least 1 centimeter of snow on the ground at some point at YVR. Not this season, for the first time since the Queen was in town to open the city's new domed stadium. The year was 1983. The winter of 2025-26 has also been warm.
In Vancouver, it was a very warm winter. Our mean temperature was 6 degrees. The normal mean temperature is about 4.3.
Now, we could decide to have some fun with that at the expense of our eastern neighbors who got buried this winter.
It was crazy. Like, we haven't had storms like that in a long time.
But we wouldn't do that.
Shocking, to be honest.
The problem, Vancouver's warm winter meant less snow fell on the coastal mountains, which could cause serious issues this summer.
We really have depended very much in Vancouver and many other municipalities on the slow melt of snow coming from the mountains to recharge our reservoirs.
Right now, the region's snowpack is at about 75% of average, which could also leave forests vulnerable to wildfire this summer. At least that's the way things look now. Experts point out if the West Coast experiences a wet spring, particularly in June, which has earned the nickname January for its reputation of dampening the ground and spirits ahead of summer, water levels could be just fine. Andrew Johnston, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, coming up, hiding in plain sight, customers at an airport gift shop in Tasmania get quite the surprise in a section of stuffed toys. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. A reminder that we will get a break from the snowy conditions for Saturday, but overnight Saturday into Sunday, we are anticipating 5 to 7 centimeters of snow. So enjoy and take advantage of your Saturday. Mainly cloudy skies. Again, 2 degrees for Sunday, 5 to 7 centimeters of snow, and Monday the flurries could be lingering. Now here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're showcasing Sussex Drive, and temperatures sitting around -3 right now.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tania Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Pure Country 94.
Texas, I can tell.
Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Monday on CTV Your Morning Ottawa. With surging gas prices, some governments are asking their employees to work from home to conserve fuel. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa. It all starts at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV on your Friday night. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, Celebrity Jeopardy, Happy's Place, Children Ruin Everything, and Boston Blue. And here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
Things started turning cold in November, and they've been cold in November, December, January, February, and my gosh, even March.
Marking the first day of a new season, looking a whole lot like the old one. Fresh snow in the capital today, though a special weather statement for our area has ended.
You will recoup your costs. This will not be something you can gouge somebody on the secondary market for any longer.
Ontario moves to ban the resale of tickets for more than the original face value as ticket prices to high-demand events soar on that resale market.
People can see that there's an objective record, whereas before there wasn't.
And Ottawa Police looking to expand the use of body-worn cameras among its officers. The City Report says the program rollout is already making a difference. One final look at the weather. I noticed they do have daffodils in Vancouver, where they had no snow this winter, which is just incredible compared to the type of winter we've had. Nothing but snow.
I was talking to a lot of people who were just like, I can't believe I'm wearing my snow boots still and like haven't removed my winter coat yet.
Yeah, like maybe in April we can take it off. At least Easter's later this year, so maybe as long as it feels springish by Easter, we'll be okay.
March is almost over.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for. This is what we're looking forward to as well.
March is almost over.
March is almost over. Take a look at this. Saturday, mainly cloudy skies. We are going to get a break from the snow, but it will be short-lived because by Saturday evening into the overnight of Sunday morning, we are anticipating 5 to 7 centimeters of snow. There might be a little bit of rain moving through around the Kingston area, Seaway area as well, but it should clear by the time we get to our noon hour for Sunday. But that's Sunday. Let's look at it tomorrow morning. -9 to kick things off. Mainly cloudy skies, but again, we are anticipating more sunshine moving in. Daytime high about 4 degrees for Saturday. Sunday, snow in the early morning, 2 degrees the daytime high. Probably won't be until next Friday, Patricia. that we will see some sun and cloud, but I'm not liking that -12.
No.
As the overnight low.
Still chilly. All right. Thank you, Jackie. And finally for us tonight, a little browse through an airport gift shop in Tasmania turned into quite the surprise for a customer who spotted something that caught her eye. So these shelves full of plush toy animals at Tasmanian's Hobart Airport, well, one of the animals was not quite like the others. If you can see it there, that is, in fact, a live Australian brush-tail possum nestled in with the other stuffed toys, quite comfortable. A passenger noticed it and reported it to staff, who couldn't quite believe it. They were able to remove the possum safely.
Oh,
Just
goodness.
how the possum got into the store. How long it was there remains a mystery. When we were going into this, I was worried we were going to end up with a snake sighting. As soon as you say Australia,
You thought
and
snake.
something, yeah.
So you'd get the possum over the snake. It would freak me out if it popped out.
Yes, you just walk by and it's moving like that. My goodness. This was pretty cool the other day. Tyler Fleming out there. You can see him in the shadows with his camera. On the slopes at Camp Fortune, it'll be a good ski weekend for a lot of people with fresh snow on the hills as March break comes to an end. Nothing but wind.